Testing, testing.
Where is everyone?
I don't know. We'll see. Usually these calls have a lot of people. And it's just us still, huh?
I know.
And I let Daniela promote it 100%. I didn't do anything. I was like, this is going to be your test. This is going to be,
She's doing great. And then also,
yeah,
yeah, and then your other person, let me see. Let me see
Michelle.
here, Dan. Nancy
Yeah,
is starting to show up. And
Michelle. Good morning, Matthew. What's up, Matthew?
Hey, how you
Danielle.
doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Good, good. Are you familiar with the book Matthew in the Bible? Like
Yeah.
growing up, you like know Matthew?
Well, I start learning the Bible more like in my teenage to adult years.
Got it.
But I'm familiar
Is,
with it.
is Matthew is Matthew one of the disciples?
Yes.
Are you
And
sure?
yeah, and he's the only book that was written in ancient Hebrew and in Aramaic. All the rest of the New Testament was written in Christian Greek. Hold on a minute. Yeah,
Right.
Christian Greek and
Nice.
or yeah, Christian Greek in the Old Testament was written in Aramaic. But that's like the bridge to the Old Testament and New Testament. This is the first book that's there.
Okay, got it. I want to talk about that later. Good morning, Christal. Thank you for coming, for being here.
Thank you,
Patty,
Dan.
Daniela, yeah. People are going to be trickling in. Anybody have anything great to share as people are coming in?
I'm very thankful to be here. I'm happy that I'm here. I think it's all good stuff. Ooh, I feel like I'm on the wrong side of the screen right now. Okay, that's better. Oh, right. So this is gonna be clearly I'm nervous. I'm a little nervous, little nervousness, a little nervosa happening right now, but I'm cool with it. Can you guys still see me? I just disconnected all of my monitors just now and my lights, so I wasn't sure if you
Yes, we can
okay.
see you.
Great, great. That's awesome. So I'm excited.
Well, it's cool. I'm excited because yesterday was raining in Colombia and my internet was bad. I was worried because I just got in this little spot and I was like, but it looks like today's been working fine. I don't know if the landlord did anything. So that's something to be excited about,
Yes.
that your words can make a difference.
Dan, you
Yes.
you live in Colombia most of the time?
Yes.
Okay.
For now. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
But
pretty cool.
yeah. But I think I probably won't be maybe a couple more months. And then welcome, Catherine, to the call. All right. No worries. So um as people are trickling in. So if as you guys are here, I don't know if you people want to introduce themselves. I don't know, maybe sometimes people come in, they're not able to talk or not able to come on video. That's fine. But if you are, then introduce yourself and what do you do and what are you up to? Um, what's your goal in life? Anybody want to go first? And say anybody wearing black t-shirt should go first. I don't know who is, but
I'm wearing a black tank.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Matthew.
Um, so my name is Matthew Dennis. I'm a UX UI designer. I'm also a I'm also a I'm working on being a full stack developer, and I also have a license to sell insurance in the United States. The main states I have a license in is Florida. Now it wasn't Pennsylvania. Now it's Florida and Delaware. I want to yeah. Those are two states I have an insurance license in. I have a company, a LLC. My company name is SkyPie, and with that, I plan to make applications, web applications, and I want to focus on data in a way that will make a person's information uh, more readable to themselves. And I also want to uh, make take away a lot of pain points for people uh, in their everyday lives. Like I want to focus on crime and miscommunication, a lot of
Got it. Got it.
different areas through that data. So,
Got it.
um,
All right. Sounds like you have a big dream and it's coming together. I think you're on a good call because we're going to be talking about how you can, maintain all that data and
mhm.
control it with the database. Crystal's going to talk all about that. All right, cool. Anybody else who wants to introduce themselves real quick? Let people know. You go ahead, Patty.
Yeah, my name is Patty Akers, and I live in Oregon, the state of Oregon. And personally, I broke my leg 11 months ago, and in rehab to take care of that. And I'm now in a adult care home. And over the last year and 4 months, 5 months, I've let go of over 100 pounds. And what I do in life is I'm retired from childcare and elder care, and I'm now writing books. And for the last 28 years, I've been a personal result coach. And so I'm doing personal growth and coaching and everything right from my bed.
Awesome. That's great. That's great to know that no matter what, I can still keep coaching. I can still keep going. Even if I'm bedridden, I can still, you can do it. You
Bed
have the
bound.
internet, you be at bed
Yes.
bound, you can still do it. So that gives me hope knowing that I'm gonna be doing this for a long time. Cause, no matter what. All right, cool. This
Yeah.
if so for the rest of the people, I always find it's best to if you can put your video on and participate, it's that you get the most out of the call so that you're not wasting your time, if possible. I say show up on time and participate because everybody on this call has something to offer to the world and to this community. But no one's gonna know you have anything to offer without communication. And your camera being on is a form of communication because then people get to see you. You're communicating in every way. Your camera off is a communication too. So I'm going to encourage people, not that it's a regulation or anything, to communicate, participate. Where there's a lot of people, not a lot of people, it's always an opportunity to talk more, to to share. So that's what I'm saying. So Emily Johnson, if you're okay with introducing yourself, or um, Catherine Sherlock. Let's get one more person who hasn't spoken yet. Okay, go ahead, Sherlock.
Yeah. Hi. Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, I'm sorry to be late. I was actually just taking a call from my niece who actually lives in Jamaica and who's now in New York visiting a friend who does a surgery. But while she was in New York, my daughter had just debuted on Broadway in a thing called the suffragist movements, and she went to see the suffragists. Surprised my daughter, which is her cousin, and she called me from New York, which was a surprise because I expect her, if she was going to call me, would call me from Jamaica. So I was in a very family excitement. So I was a bit late coming to this thing. So forgive me for sharing that with you. My daughter's
No, no
on Broadway.
problem, no
On
problem.
Broadway. Yeah. So introduce myself.
Yeah, just like a quick, 20-second of who you are, so people have a sense of who you are and what you're doing, especially for our presenter, so she can know that who she's talking to
I see. I see.
and how she can help them.
Well, thanks for. I just got a nice apartment, which is like a home for the first time since I've been in this country. I'm a Jamaican man. And it's nice to find a home where you can feel safe and you can hear yourself. And I am feeling more tied in my mind. And what I'm about and what I've been wanting to do as an educated man is to help people understand who they are. As Pierre Teilhard says, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. I wrote a curriculum about that. And I want to do a TED talk about it. And I'm feeling more driven to do that now. And I'm feeling that today I'm feeling happy and delighted to be alive. So that's 20 seconds.
How do
All
you do a
right.
TED talk?
I beg your pardon?
How do you do a TED talk?
How do I do it? I've never done it yet, but I've seen them. I have some ideas I want to share about vertical integration and have people understand that we don't know who we are. Most of us understand ourselves as human beings having a spiritual experience rather than knowing themselves as spiritual beings having a human experience. And I feel like we're robbing ourselves, not knowing what's possible because we're walking around not connected with God. To know yourself is to connect to Jesus Christ, Baha'u'llah, and God, and so on. So I'm putting it together, and I'm going to get some feedback from Dan and some other friends because I really feel I have something to say. I'm feeling now, first time I'm really feeling confident that I do have something to share to the world.
Okay.
Awesome, awesome. And I think Matthew, you're probably asking what's the process of doing it, which I could tell you that later. Like, how do you
Okay.
get to the stage?
Okay.
All right. All right, cool, wonderful. All right. So today I'm excited because we are going to learn a lot of great information about how brand yourself on social media, great customer loyalty. Christelle is a friend of mine that I've known for many years, many years. And I think she was probably in the first people that took my 21-day challenge in 2020. And so it's always a pleasure to still see how much we've progressed. And we were both in the vacation industry back then. I was walking through the mall and she didn't stop me. And I went back. I was like, how come you didn't stop me? The time you were stop. I don't know if she remembers that, but that's how we met. And we became friends that way. And that was before, that was like 2018 or something. And so a long time. So, anyways, she has a lot of great stuff, and so I thought that it'd be great for the community. Good thing is being recorded, and so as people come in, I know some people are still gonna come in. I'm gonna give you the floor, Christal, and let you introduce yourself. And the floor is yours. You need to share your screen and do your thing, and bless us with your knowledge.
Oh boy. I don't know. I hope it can be at least decently somewhat what I want. So of course, after like much trepidation, I was able to come up with kind of like a presentation for this call. So I'm sure if you have questions, you can definitely interject and I'll kind of take a pause. Sherlock, did you have something to say?
This is Sherlock.
You have your hand
Yeah,
raised.
your hand is still up.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, oh, no, no, no. I don't know. No, I don't. I'm sorry. How do I do it? Sit down.
Yes.
Good.
Thanks.
Forgive me, please. Go ahead.
Not a problem. So basically, I'll just kind of keep this as more of a general overview in terms of like what we do have. I feel like my slide deck is giving me major anxiety, but I do have some resources for you and a really great way for you to stay connected with me later on. But I think the importance of building a database, and if you guys have pen and paper, I definitely recommend you to take notes. I will be releasing the entire full slide deck later on. So if you guys drop your email, as a matter of fact, I will share some of my links in the chat, and that way you can drop, reach out to me, and I'll be more than happy to share the full slide deck, of course, a copy of this, presentation, and then, of course, a little bit more of my methodology in terms of like where I'm coming up with this. Now, a little bit about me. Um, I have actually been in marketing. I went to school for marketing many moons ago. But I've actually had 10 years doing sales and marketing. As Dan told you, I was hustling in the, travel industry. And, I think it's very important to note that, initially I did not reach out to him. I had seen him, but I wasn't sure if he was, my ideal prospect. I wasn't sure that if he was an ideal candidate. And he very much was, right? It's interesting how if we don't put ourselves out there in a certain way, then I mean, what ultimately do you really have, right? You don't really have, you never know who's your customer. And that's a great place in terms of positioning. Now, before we get started, I do want to talk about a little bit more about the objectives for today. Now, I want you to understand what a database is, what branding is, how it's going to play in your personal, professional, business growth. I also want you to learn some effective strategies for branding yourself on social media. If anybody does have their social available, I would love to do an audit. We can kind of do an audit for someone's social online right now. And then also, I want you to, reach out to me, and I'd be more than happy to do another call with you where we'll talk a little bit more about some tools that you can use, on autopilot that I can, share with you. So I'll definitely share that, that pack and that slide deck later on with some, free and complimentary resources that you can use for your personal brand. Now, I've been doing sales and marketing, but I also used to work for a large, social media company, used to work for Twitter another moon ago or so. But that's really where I really started to understand the big picture of things, right? A lot of times we use these platforms and we don't know exactly where we are. We're thinking that we're using them, they're using us, right? Because at the end of the day, you're the product and their customers are not individuals, their customers are other businesses. Essentially, that's where the eyeballs are, right? And so I have a lot of colleagues, a lot of friends that have huge social media followings. They have thousands of people, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 or more people. Um, and they're not able to monetize their page. And a lot of times we think about how you can make money, but I think the biggest thing is, anybody heard that your net worth can be your network? Wait, your network is your net worth. You've heard this term before, right? It's really
Yes.
who you hang out with. And so your database is ultimately the new network, right? And it's really important because you can reach out to so many more people. You never know where you're going to be. Just like Matthew, when you're talking about how, you said you do systems, you do AI, right? Not AI, you're a programmer. You do programmer, developer, you're a developer, but you also do insurance on the side. So at any point, as you leverage into new industries, new businesses, you're losing out on a huge piece of the people that could follow you and potential people, and tapping into those networks of the people that it would fit for, right? Because not everybody may need your coding services, but they may need some, some term, right? They may need some, final expense. And so branding yourself and always kind of staying out there is going to allow you, and also having your own people, your own group of people or database of people that will follow you wherever you go, regardless, right? If the platform ends, because social media isn't going to always be the way that it is. Just like how it was books, it was television, it was radio. And a lot of these things were very much exclusive to people. But the importance of a database is to actually grow your brand, is to help you be able to monetize in the future for whatever your endeavor is. So a database, does anybody have an idea what a database is, or like what you guys think it what comes to mind? Any kind of like words?
Somewhere where I keep all my contacts,
In a way,
I think.
yes, that's a great point. That's a great point. Um,
All
anybody
your
else?
resources.
Say it again.
An area where you keep all your resources.
100%. I think both you and Dan are correct, Marjorie. So it's really like a treasure chest, right? Filled with valuable information, not only about your customer, the people that you know. It's kind of like a repository of information, right? Like exactly. Perfect. So using MailChimp, Kajabi. So MailChimp is more of like, it does have like a CRM built into it. But I think also we don't really capture as much data from the people that we do know. I think even just getting on the call, knowing that Sherlock wants to do a TEDx talk, right? Or learning that Patty has lost, over 100 pounds in her situation. Those all lend to different kind of experiences that could at some point be a connection or, be a really, like you said, Marjorie, a resource in the future. And so this can be an email list. So using MailChimp, right? This can be, it could be in your social media, it could be your contacts online, but I really want to stem away from connecting those pieces, right? Because I think a lot of times we say we have an email list or in our phone. I can't tell you how many entrepreneurs I've talked to. They only have people on their phone. They have email, phone numbers, maybe emails. They don't have any addresses. And so having a full and comprehensive database and information is really going to allow you to be able to leverage and create a true business and a system in the future. And so just to kind of give you an idea, let's say, for example, you pivoted your industry, you've left your job, you are now branching off on your own, you want to go somewhere. Now, how do you know who to reach out to?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be searching online, looking at a ton of different people. But I think the biggest thing here is that the database is so crucial because it's going to enhance your customer engagement and retention. So you're going to find out of the people that you do know who your actual clients are, who your potential customers are. You never know who it could be, just like when Dan was walking past me. And so it also allows you to provide a personalized, kind of customer service experience, if you will. Knowing more about your people, your connections, and it'll be much deeper, their pain points, what affects them, what's their interest, will allow you to be able to target them better and offer them products and services that work. A lot of times we're trying to make, a square peg fit into a round hole, and it just doesn't work. And also it allows you to create better decisions for your business. And the thing is, if you don't have the data, you're making a decision based on feeling. And I think sometimes, we understand that if we're in our feelings, we can't always make the best decision if we're emotional. But this way you see it on paper. If you have the data, you can track it, you can measure it, and you can pivot as needed. And so a key example of that, before I go into how to build a database, is going to be uh, let's say, for example, you have a product, right? This could be a pen. Maybe you think that people are using a pen for, just writing, but maybe this kind of pen is very key in a particular niche. Well, having that kind of data, will say it again. Maybe this kind of data is key in a particular niche. So this will actually allow you to properly market the pen or how people are using your product and to those individuals. Just like, Xerox originally wasn't even they weren't even like a copy company. They got into business thinking it was going to be used one way, and they realized people were actually using it for another way. And so very much like how your business will pivot and will expand in the future, these are other ways that, um, you know, these are other ways that you can use it for yourself. So how to build a database. I think this is really key. Dan, you have a very, broad connection. You have a network of people, you have a community. And I think a database and community kind of go synonymous, where it's a database, you also get a little bit more in depth with the people and their motivations behind it. So if you have a website, you can create a lead magnet using MailChimp, you can even use Google Forms for free as one resource. I think that's also a great place to be able to, ask questions to aggregate some more data. Um, in your CRMs, a lot of times you can send out emails, text messages to people to get more info. A lot of Marjorie, I think you said you were using.
No, it was Catherine.
Oh, Catherine, yes, thank you. I see the chat here. So you're using Kajabi right now. In what ways are you using Kajabi, and what's your industry again? I know you said you didn't really have any clothes on, so you don't have to put your camera on. Just
Turn your microphone on.
okay, not a problem. So, uh, another way that we can look at this is if you're offering any kind of promotions or discounts for your business, it's a great way to retarget those people. And if they've already expressed interest in one way, form, or another. And so why is social media and branding crucial? I think ever more nowadays, it's very important for people to brand themselves online. And, what do you guys think a brand is? Like, what's your idea? What comes to mind when you think about a brand?
Trust.
Actually, go ahead.
Marjorie?
I said trust,
Trust. I like that.
reliability.
Okay.
I think recognition and having something unique that's like your brand is like that's just something that's different than other people, and like then you remind like they can recognize you.
I like that recognizability, right? Brand awareness. What Marjorie was talking about, trust. I think the trust comes in when the brand has when you understand what that brand is, it creates trust within the
Mm-hmm.
mind of a possible consumer. So, your brand encompasses various elements, like you guys were mentioning, right? It's kind of like your logo, maybe kind of any taglines, uh, products and services, and the quality of those products and services, what it represents in other people's minds is really your brand, right? So you may try to create a certain image for yourself or for your business, but if you lose trust with your brand through, dropping the ball on customer service, or people aren't, happy, or they're disgruntled, that ultimately becomes your brand association, whether or not you realize it. And so being able to craft this ahead of time, getting ahead of the ball game. And this is why I feel like, and a lot of, new influencers are coming up. They're able to brand themselves a lot more than other businesses overall, because they're able to create presence. Whereas before it was like, I'm a celebrity and you have celebrity culture, but nobody knew who these people were. They just had the image. Whereas now you're able to see behind the looking glass, so to speak. You're able to see behind the curtain and get a chance to know these people and what they stand for. And so now your brand and your authenticity is becoming synonymous, and you have to present that piece online. And it's more than just about posting when it comes to content. So you're right. Brand, it creates visibility, it creates reach, it creates trust, credibility. It allows you to have a direct communication channel with your audience. So when it comes to people reaching out to you, people following you online. If you have, just like for me, right? My brand, not that strong. Working on it, but not that strong. So when I was reaching out, a lot of the times, and I felt kind of fear in terms of like wanting to reach out to people and expand and do this presentation. But I think at the end of the day, if I had had a stronger brand, there would be way more people showing up. And I think having establishing that early on will allow you long term to have more success with any future product launches, any kind of pivots in your career that you do have. Now, I do want to go over any elements of creating a, how to create a strong brand image. But does anybody have any questions? I want to put a pin here for a second, and we'll further get into certain like social media platforms and how that works.
Yes. May I ask a question then?
Please.
Yeah, I really appreciate your bringing up this subject because I'm a baby boomer, and one of my problems is that I feel like I'm not relevant to this community. I mean, in terms of I'm an older man and I'm from a different country and so on, and I'm finding it hard to pin down my brand because I was a mature student. I'm a religious person. I believe in spirituality, and I'm designing what I want to work on. And my books that I'm writing about is about helping people to understand that they're spiritual beings having a human experience, but I don't know how to monetize that. And therefore, and so my brand seems to be in motion. I'm now recently just really seen something that has to do with my health, and I've seen
Okay.
something that I think is going to be lucrative. So, can you help me to nail down what's my brand if things seem so moving? It's always moving and dynamic.
Brilliant question. So I think ultimately you shouldn't shy away from the things that make you authentic. I'm seeing a lot of, I'm sure you've seen like, with cancel culture, people just not wanting to just religiously follow celebrities and people that have kind of like a heavy following. It's more
Mhm.
about knowing who you are, because the more authentic you are, you're going to connect people that are, your ideal customer, right? Other people that are from Jamaica that are a baby boomer, right? That resonate with that story. Even younger people that say, you know what, oh, I remember you remind me of my relative or my teacher or somebody that's in that demographic. Or maybe you can leverage your experience. I don't think there's any one right way to do it, but the idea here is to be exactly who you are, and figure out and pinpoint like pillars for your identity, right? The main pieces, right? Because this could be something that even I'm very big on the anti-niche. I don't think that you have to do it one way or the other anymore. I think that really it's a combination of all of those different aspects that create who you are. So your journey and your story could be more so getting on a TED Talk and um, creating a larger vision for yourself. But you can talk about your experiences as a baby boomer, right? How do you feel in the world? That's going to create and also being authentic is going to allow you to create different products that will be ideal. Maybe you want to position yourself in terms of authority with a book. A book is a great way to brand yourself. Maybe you're talking to your audience on social media. You have to find out the avenue that works for you, and then you're able to kind of like showcase that, and the right people will come along the way and stick. The right people will be sticky.
I am feeling confident. Just talk. I like to talk to you some more because I've never really been in this kind of conversation, and since I've been around this conversation with Dan over the past several months, my confidence in this conversation has been enhanced, and I'm feeling a lot more like I can relate to online community, and I'm understanding what it means to be an influencer and the nomenclature here. So, but just listening to you, you seem like a person I like to learn from. So keep on talking.
Are you posting anything online right now, or like what platforms are you on?
Well, I no, I'm writing, but I want to enhance my LinkedIn page, for example, and I lack the confidence of some of the things that you just mentioned. I think if I were to speak to you more, I would be able to unleash because I think I have some things to offer, but I just feel confused and bottled up.
Okay. And so when you are on LinkedIn, what kind of things are you posting?
Well, I really am not. I'm on LinkedIn, but I'm not on LinkedIn. I mean, I'm on Facebook, but I'm not on Facebook. I mean, I haven't I'm planning now to redefine. I want to upgrade my LinkedIn page and to redefine myself. I'm like in a holding pattern right now. I'm not there yet. I'm there and I'm not. But I like to launch because I have some ideas I want to share, and I've shared some things with some of my people, and they're encouraging me to do things. And I'm growing a lot. I think I'm growing a lot as a man. As I said, a baby boomer. I'm feeling that I'm relevant and I can make myself more relevant. And yeah, it's a longer story. I'd like to talk to you more about that, but I don't want to hog this conversation.
Understood. Well, let's just get into, you mentioned social media. I know that a lot of people, um, across the board, they have a love-hate relationship with social media, right? You either love it or hate it, or it's a means to an end for you. I'm here to tell you that there's no negotiation when it comes to social. You're either on it, or in the future, you will wish you would be on it, and the barrier to entry will be so much harder. We don't know if they're going to charge for these platforms. We don't know if we will move later on into VR. I don't know if anybody's like a Gary Vee fan, but in the slide deck that I'm going to share with all of you, and as you guys are joining in on the meeting, I do want to I have an opt-in form here that you guys can utilize. It's actually going to be part of, it's just going to be your name and your email, but I really want you to start to connect with me as a resource in the future. Now, this is going to be my magazine. I have my own personally branded magazine, another way that I brand myself, and I can actually share with you how to get one on your own, complimentary. And we'll get into that in a little way by creating different resources, books, pieces, that you can leverage to create your online brand and presence. But the idea here is that you want to create credibility, trust, just like Marjorie was stating. And so it's important to be able to have people out to reach out to you, but not only that, it creates consistency in the mind of the prospect or the mind of the person that's reaching out to you. And you can do this by, branding yourself properly, creating a particular color scheme and logo. So, or even doing, consistent kind of graphics and things like that, that it's congruent, right? We talked about creating, authenticity with Sherlock. You want to make sure that you have a solid message. And there's no right way. You can always evolve your messaging as you grow as a human being. This is actually another way that I think people think they have to be pigeonholed into one thing. But if you have 20 years experience, of course, there's going to be nuances to that. Or maybe you just get tired and bored and you want to go on to something else. Having an engaging content strategy, right? So what kind of mediums, what kind of things are you going to use to actually share your brand voice, whether it's going to be data, infographics, videos, blogs. All of these things are tools that you can use that will leverage you as more of, are you more in entertainment? You should all entertain people. This is going to be more so something that you're using in terms of, shareable content where it's more educational based. And you want to kind of mix those things up. You don't want it to be so so fixed in terms of it's always the same thing every single time. I do have some resources. Again, if you guys hop into the chat and you search in on, if you say, let's do it, you'll get a copy of my complimentary magazine. You're gonna get this every single month. It's a business focused publication. It's specifically for entrepreneurs. We do go over different insights in terms of different industries, but this is one way that I personally run myself, not only as a person in sales, but also as a way to be able to connect with individuals in terms of business alone. Now, some of the most popular platforms, if you guys can raise your hand, I want to know, pretty much how many people are on Facebook or your virtual hand. I know all of you are on Facebook. No one's on Facebook right now.
On Facebook.
Okay. Anybody I know, Sherlock, you're on LinkedIn. Anybody doing LinkedIn?
I'm on LinkedIn and Facebook.
Okay. And so anybody doing, Twitter or now X, where Elon Musk took that over? There's also TikTok. I know that's a huge thing now since it's kind of like being banned. I don't know if it's been banned really, but TikTok, anybody on TikTok, we're utilizing TikTok as well. I love that JD's on this. I love that Dan, you're on these platforms. Catherine, you're on these platforms. And so do you guys use them to scroll or do you use them for product research? Do you use them? How are some of you using these platforms? And I'll tell you what the main focus is and how to brand yourself on them. It's like a general overview.
Mm.
Go ahead, Sherlock.
But I'm really so thrilled. I'm happy to be here this morning. I feel I'm ready to learn, and I feel what you're saying is scratching me where I itch. Because if you're not ready, no matter how much you are giving me the information, I won't be able to ingest it. So I'm ready to have this conversation with you, and I'm ready. Yeah, I think you're very. The way you speak and the knowledge and your authenticity seems like a person that I like to learn from and grow with. So I'm looking forward to learning and checking out what you're about going forward.
Okay, perfect. You can definitely put that in your hand. I will also share this slide deck pretty much with all of these different pieces and like, just kind of like the outline. But Facebook is fantastic when it comes to building a community, right? Again, you have a very large community on Facebook, over 1,000 people and growing. Actually, no, I think it's more than that. How many people do you have right now on Facebook? Just for your community, not your page.
Are you talking to
Yeah,
me?
I have. Who are you talking to? Me?
Dan, yeah.
Sherlock? Oh, okay. A couple thousand. I have like about 6,000 divided in my Facebook group, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll say this. It's great for building a community, sharing tons of content. I typically find that older demographics now are more so on Facebook than anything. But also Instagram is great for visual storytelling, right? It's a very visually stimulated platform. You can reach much more of a younger audience. B2B, LinkedIn should be on LinkedIn. Every single person in here should be on LinkedIn. I think it's one of the most underutilized platforms ever, mainly because you know that those people have jobs or are looking for jobs. They have income. And also, it's important to them. I think that it's a lot easier to poach into those markets when you do have and you do start off kind of like reaching out to those people on LinkedIn. It's very cheap as well when it comes to ad spend. Twitter or X as well, right now with the new move with Elon Musk, if you're thinking about doing ads in any kind of like capacity. Hey, Kathy, if you're thinking about doing ads in any kind of like capacity, I think that you should definitely utilize LinkedIn and X right now, or formerly Twitter, for that. Twitter is great for real-time updates, engaging trends and topics. And of course, TikTok, short form creative. Now, I'm kind of on the fence with TikTok. I definitely think the virality is fantastic in terms of being on that platform. You should be on it. It's just one of those things now. But I do think that it's changed the game in terms of how other platforms perform, to the point where you can still create that same effect if you nail the platform there and you understand the language of each platform, and then are able to post similar content that's relevant to the, I don't want to say vibe, but relevant to, yeah, I guess each platform has its own individual language, right? And in conduct. You're not going to be, on LinkedIn saying, hey girl, hey, you can, that can be part of your brand, something a little bit different, new, avant-garde. But I think that, it's more of a business profile. So you would have more corporate kind of content. Now, I do want to break down creating a social media strategy, but I want to see if anybody has any questions before I continue. I know it's pretty long-winded, me just talking here, but I just want to break up the monotony. And but anybody else? No, let's keep going. So, oh yeah, sorry, Patty, I
I have
didn't
a
see
question.
you. I had a window. Yes.
What would you say about alignable?
So Alignable, I'm on Alignable. I'm not like heavy on it. I think any platform that you can use to get on to connect with people, you should utilize. Here's my thing. Use what is your biggest platform, right? Like I used to be on a podcasting app, and that's where I got a lot of followers from and was able to leverage that for my other social media platforms. If that's a niche place for you, there's so many. People are going to tell you that you should be on everything. My whole thing is you should be on the main things. And if you are on a smaller niche one, leverage that and try to pick up that content, get a database out of that, get connections out of that, and then put that those and migrate those people to other platforms. Or if anything, at least extract a database from those people, extract the information, connect with them, network with them, because this is going to be, pivotal, right? And you have books that you launch, any kind of books that any new book launches that you are looking to come out with. This is a great way to not only leverage that, get referrals, get testimonials from those people. I think is another way. Your ROI doesn't always have to be something that's monetary based. It could just be that someone's supporting you. I've been there. I've been in dance community for a very, very long time. I'm not always able to go to, an excursion. I'm not always able to do a champion, event, or a course. But I do know that, and I'm able to at least bring and showcase some people and bring those people onto, his platform as well. So it's another community platform. I'm on it. I have clients that reach out to me on it. But what were you looking to do on the platform specifically?
I was just wondering what you thought about it.
Do you have a strong following on Alignable?
Say again?
Do you have a strong following on Alignable?
No, I haven't even got onto it yet. Mine basically is Facebook, and it's a personal one, and I do have a business one on Facebook. But it's like sending the traffic of I've got like 1,200 people on my private page, and basically sending out a text at least once a week on what I'm up to, and then driving them to this business page.
Okay. I do want to say that, like, when you have a Facebook page, a business page, you're always going to have typically more people on your personal profile, especially for Facebook, than on your business profile. If you can leverage that early on and make that very intentional that you want both people to follow you, I would suggest doing that right away, because later on down the line, it does become beneficial to you, right? Because that way you can drive in sales, you can do surveys, you can, start to leverage your community, and you also are creating a separate branded entity. Like, I do want to say that a lot of people that I speak to are personal coaches, development, professionals, and they are not able to separate their personal brand from the business. And if you are able, I mean, if it's aligned and that's how it works, great. But I think it's always important to create a separate entity for yourself, in business, for products that you do own, or anything that is coming out, because if anything can happen to your business, you want to be able to run that, or be able to think about the retirement of your career. I think business has changed so much that you can have both, piece in your own personal life, as well as, leveraging it as yourself as still a speaker, in those places. But something to think about. Don't say ums on your presentation, but overall, your strategy, right? What do you want to get out of these? I have a lot of clients that talk about vanity metrics. They want to get a lot of followers. I'm not knocking that. I think followers and having likes and the shares, those do help you track your growth and your progress. To me, in my opinion, if you're not making money from it, it doesn't mean a thing. I have people that make, they're making money, solid money, 500 followers, because those are true, tried and true people that have been following them for a long time. They have their emails, they're able to promote to them. So I think, don't just go for what looks good online. Also make sure that you're being extremely intentional with how you're posting. If you're posting, you're always posting, and I'm a fan of like Alex Ramosi. And if anybody wants me to start putting links in the chat to kind of like share with you like where my mindset is coming from on this, but Alex Ramosi, he's great with doing that one thing. It's something that I've really thought about for a long period of time. And one thing that works is, you don't want to overwhelm your people, right? People are clicking on thousands of different things all the time, and we forget what we've clicked on. I can't tell you how many times my phone is rang, and they're like, you clicked on this, you wanted to know information about this. You see it off the ad, and then you don't even remember. So always having, right? Fantastic, Alex. Thank you so much. Jessica. Now, Alex Ramosi, he is a brilliant marketer. And you may have heard of him, but he spent 5 years in the trenches on YouTube before he finally exploded. I definitely think short form content has been a huge contributing factor to that. Hint, hint. I've seen people completely explode off of just exclusively using short form content. But what are you looking to drive? If you want to drive followers, make that quarter your focus. If you want to drive in, sales, if you want to drive in engagement to grow the page, to get more, I don't want you to get too focused on the algorithm and how things are going. It's prioritizing community this year, community, connecting with people, authenticity. And so setting the right kinds of goals that are clear and measurable, I know we've all heard of SMART goals overall, is going to be key. If you go to any social media platform, I think you can go to their business profile. You're able to download their content calendar. So every year, Twitter, Instagram, Meta, they will download a page, they will have a calendar available of all the maybe highly searched contacts, hashtags, names, holidays that you can at least start to frame out the year. So we all heard of those burger days, fries days, sorry, when they're giving away free fries. It's National Hot Dog Day, random things that you never heard of. National Mac and Cheese Day. These are small, interesting, unique holidays that most people don't think about that you can use to kind of leverage your content in terms of virality. And having those pinpointed pieces there is a nice way for you to be able to, in between, start to craft your brand, start to craft your story without feeling the pressure of needing to know exactly what you want in terms of having, I need to have these kind of pillars. So I think a mix of having, especially if you're doing a growth strategy in the beginning and you want to grow your brand, you want to establish, you're trying to figure things out, you're trying one thing here, one thing there. Starting off with those are going to be, I think is going to be really pivotal. It's going to just lighten the load in terms of overwhelm, right? Because when you're new, everybody's screaming at you what you should do, what you shouldn't do. Just post. You don't have to post every single day anymore. It's not the 2 times a day, 3 times a day anymore. That doesn't work anymore. These algorithms are prioritizing community, quality and content, originality. And so being able to post even 3 times a week consistency is always going to be paramount. So Matthew Dennis, you've asked, how do you prefer the best way to transfer people from the social media platform to a database as a potential prospect? Well, first, establish what your database is going to be. You can use Kajabi, you can Hootsuite, also typically, and HubSpot. HubSpot actually has, not Hootsuite, but HubSpot. HubSpot has a free CRM to a certain limit of people that you can join. So you want to figure out how are you going to capture all of the data and house it. If you're beginning and you're saying I have 0 to 500 people that I'm setting my goal that I want their name, number, emails, you can use that in the beginning. I would DM them. I would message them if you have those people, whether they're in connections, personal connections, DM them, email them, and I would offer something of value. You can easily go on Canva. I'm gonna actually start putting some of these links. I started the slide deck, but I would actually, and even creating an event, right? A virtual event like this, right? Creating a virtual event is a really amazing way to be able to capture data as well. So when people are coming in, you can say, well, give me your name, number, email, or maybe you're offering kind of like something to follow up with. Is another way to be able to pull that, transfer people over to whatever platform you want. I think also having just a natural conversation without it having to be salesy, the same way that I just gave you my magazine. If you guys haven't downloaded it, and you'll be hearing that a lot, click on that magazine link. I'm actually going to repost this here in the chat for everybody. But this is my personal branded magazine. It's basically focusing on business overall. Actually, I'm going to share my screen finally, and I will kind of like showcase a little bit more about what this looks like, right? So this is what you should see in the links. This is my personally branded magazine where you can, there you go. Where you have my name, my office, my business website, business email, my business number, my email, right? This is my company's address. I do work full time while I'm building my brand. Don't quit your job, ladies and gents. Let's just keep the income coming in, the cash flow coming in before we do anything wild. And then I have a link to my LinkedIn profile, which it will go directly there where you can follow me. This can be all of your different social media platforms. Okay. Seems to be so what we can also do is what happened? Go back. There we go. So basically for for this, um, what you would do is my magazine, once you click on it, you have 4 different articles. Now they're going to get this every single day. This is a great way to start to creating a lead magnet will start to pepper in their minds like, okay, you're doing something different. It gives you a reason to reach out to people. And there's going to help drive traffic by giving, by, not tip for tat, but it's co-symbiotic. You're getting something by giving something. So power of manifestation. I mean, I'm sure, Sherlock, you can resonate with that. Protecting your business structures with right insurance, right? Matt, you can resonate with that. The benefits of effective time management and how, I mean, prepping for your holiday promotions, right? So leveraging different times in the year, like leveraging different events is going to be really powerful. And adding value. I think people are scared to add value, guys. Value, giving nothing for some and asking for something doesn't work anymore. You have to be able to provide value, leverage your community, and share with them things that you have from a vulnerability standpoint. And so, for example, power of manifestation. We're talking about Coach, Kathleen Cameron, she's an entrepreneur, author, coach. Again, my information does not leave this page, but with this, they know that every single month I'm able to, on an autopilot, not think about it the same way everybody on this call is going to reach out to me through the magazine. I'm able to get their data. Then I can always follow up with them later on. So once you say you want to get in touch with me, name, number, email, any kind of information message like, hey, I'm really wondering why. I'd like to know some more information about what you have going on, great presentation. Definitely reach out to me in terms of, through this. This is one of the tools that I use, but you can do Google Forms for free, right? You can do MailChimp has a free version as well. HubSpot also has a free CRM to house everybody. So once you determine how many people you have, how you're going to keep the data, right? This means everybody, not just the people that are on in your phone, right? Not just people that are on your Facebook or your Instagram. This is every single or an email list. You want to have a more comprehensive, hey, I know that Dan's WhatsApp. I know his Facebook community page. I know his business page. I know his email. I know everything about Dan in one place, his profile, so that when I go to Sherlock, I know not only his motivations, right? Because we talked about it earlier, but now I know his email, telephone number, address. So if I ever want to send him one of my personally branded magazines that I also can actually share with you guys, I can mail this to him and it will never be a problem. And again, a value piece that I can actually send out. So these are different ways outside of social media to create a deeper connection with the
Wow.
people that are in your database. Now, also, we talked about tools. Hootsuite is a great social media auto poster. It's becoming increasingly hard to maintain promoting on social media. But any questions so far? I know I'm kind of going fast. I'm getting a little nervous, but anybody else have any questions on any of the pieces that I'm talking about right now?
I do. I first of all, again, I want to thank you very much because I'm feeling like I've come home. I mean, I'm speaking to a person who is helping me to educate me to understand the lay of the land. If I'm a chess player, for example, and I know I won chess tournaments, and I know a chess game has 3 openings, three phases: the open game, the middle game, and the end game. And but there are people who can play chess without not understanding those things, and they can beat you. What you've just said to me, or what you're saying, you're helping me to understand what's possible, how I should approach it, and that there's a way in which I can become relevant. Prior to this conversation, you're helping me to really feel like I want to really get involved and to feel safe, and that my confidence can grow slowly and methodically. And I'm excited about being in this conversation. For some reason, I'm feeling delighted. I mean, I don't know what it is you're saying or how you're saying it, but you're saying it and I keep on saying it. And I'm looking forward to getting to know you in a practical way to make things happen in some way. So I like to get your contact information as well and so on. It's really extraordinary. I'm glad I'm very, very Happy to be on this conversation with you.
Definitely, Charlotte. I just dropped my link, my magazine link in the chat. So if you click on that and you fill out the form there, landing page form, then you will get my information and you'll get my next issue for my magazine. Also, guys, I've also included my LinkedIn as well if you want to follow that as additionally. Dan, you had a question?
Well, actually, Matthew had the question you wrote in the chat about how do you prefer the best way to transfer people from social media platform to a database as a potential prospect?
Yeah, that was actually the question
So,
that we're
what
talking about now. Like
what is your, yeah.
one way is to create lead magnets, reaching out to people, messaging them, DMing them, emailing them, but giving them something of value on top of that. So you can go to Canva, create something like, from an experience point. If you reach out to me as well, I have some free lead magnets that you can use as well for you, right? So now you can leverage resources that are already existing
But
and
when you
just
send that,
sharing.
people, sorry, to them so that they can like
Say it again.
how would you actually get them to go on there? Sorry, I
So
don't know if my internet is bad.
it's okay. So I was mentioning before that one of the ways is you can message these people, message your connections, and then offer them something for their email. So creating a lead magnet, like the magazine that I just told you about, or giving them a reason, right? Hey, what's your address? I'm going to send you over a free gift, right? Or I'm sending you over a letter. You can do that as simple as getting their addresses, right? Go to Dollar Tree, go get like a stack of, envelopes and do your thing and something of value that's a little bit different. You can always easily just ask, but I think that things are become so social that when you're getting something tangible or something different from a different avenue, it creates a deeper connection than just on social. So that's how, and then you wanted to, of course, establish where are all the people going to be, right? So if your email gets hacked, if your social gets hacked, if the platform shuts down in any capacity, you still have access to all those people in real life, right? Because social media is just a platform, guys. But also, we talked about planning your content, tools for management. I talked about Hootsuite. Canva is fantastic. I think it's also one of the best. It's just growing exponentially. And they also have social media automation. I actually have a social media automation tool that you guys can also use. It's really inexpensive and a lot of value when it comes to posting on your social media. So if you guys, again, reach out to me, LinkedIn, put a link in my, fill out the form for my magazine and, get the magazine. The biggest thing there is that I'm giving away a complimentary month for that. So you can try it out and it's a great way to brand yourself without having to do anything on autopilot, right? Now, for an example, for some of like a great way to kind of brand yourself, let's say somebody mentioned a business to me. Bueller.
An established
So
business
Astrology.
or
say it again.
a business is already out there or
Anything. Just toss out a business.
industry or, um like some I'm not sure what you like
Sure, let's just say an insurance business. Let's say it's an insurance agent, right? And so let's say right
okay.
now, you are marketing yourself as an authority figure online. And so now you have, you've created, an Instagram page, you're posting stories, maybe you're sharing other kinds of content that are full of information, and you're doing a mix of both. Maybe now one way that you can brand yourself is testimonials. Whenever you close a client, you had your first client, you say, hey, I'd love you to give me a review on how you think I went early on, right after the sale, right? So they, they, so that they, right when everything is, emotions are high, people are elated, and then asking for referrals, right? This is a great way to drive in and, position yourself online and tell that story. You can talk about how you've helped them, right? From a different standpoint of like when they did need those services, maybe the family was really happy they had final expense, or if you have a promotion for a business and you're offering a discount, putting that on your stories is going to be key, right? It's going to be a driving factor with not only creating, an audience and a connection and making sure all your people on all platforms can find you online, but also informing them, right? But anyway, I know this is I think we have another social media management. Jessica, what did you want to know more about social media management? Oh, yes, social media management, correct. But did you want to elaborate if you had any questions, or did you want me to elaborate further on social media management tools?
Mm. Mm.
Perfect. Absolutely. So yeah, social media management tools, Canva, Hootsuite is a great one. They're a bit expensive. I think they're better for more enterprise businesses, but I think for people, most of the people on the call, they're still growing their brand. And so uh, I think the biggest thing here is that you don't have to do everything all at once. Pick three main platforms, the ones that you are the heaviest in. I don't care if it's 200 people, 5 people, and leverage that. If you're kind of don't want to leverage that, you can start over and you can start posting online consistently and playing around with your audience. I think a lot of people get scared. They have, imposter syndrome or tall poppy syndrome, and they're scared to actually post or pivot from what their friends and family have seen. But you never know. Just like I said, I got on the call. I mean, I was in a mall when Dan found me, and he was like, why didn't you ask everybody but him? And he's like, why didn't you ask me? And he was the one who bought for me. Everybody else was saying no. You really don't know. All you can do is present to every single person. It may not be your friend or your buddy or your family member. It's great if they are, but maybe it's someone they know, and that was kind of a referral for you. Now, I do want to talk about why we should do it, right? What happens if you take no action? Because a lot of, oh, wait a minute. Like I just, okay. Sorry, I kind of skipped a couple of minutes. So when it comes to uh, synergy between your database and your social media profile, combining your database with social media allows you to create something powerful, right? Brand messaging, it allows you to be able to evolve and create your content. Wait a minute, it allows you to be able to grow your database, right? So you can grow more people because social media is kind of like a tractor, right? It's a multiplier. So you can use social media to drive traffic to your website, to collect email addresses through lead magnets, promotions we talked about. You can leverage insights, right? Testimonials, feedback from your audience. You can also, engage them, right? Like ask them questions, get feedback on what they want. Maybe for Dan, there's a new challenge coming out. And you're like, you know what? I wonder what my actual audience would like as a challenge, right? Do you want something in love? Do you want something in business? Do you want something in finance? What would my audience, my community want? And maybe it's a revamp on an older package, or or an older challenge, but at least this is what people like, right? And getting feedback from how do they feel a challenge when now you're doing this on a larger scale and able to kind of reach out to people that don't know you. Also automation and efficiency, or my favorite word, efficiency. So basically just like what Jessica was talking about, social media management tools, it is becoming overwhelming to do everything. It's a full-time job. You see able to post and meet like thousands and thousands of people. No longer, right? We missed the boat on that. Or I should say a lot of us have missed the boat on that one. So how we do that today is pretty interesting. Now, we do that by using social media tools like Zapier. Zapier is another great tool. I'm going to start dropping these in the chat as well so that you do have access to this. So Canva is one tool that's pretty fantastic in terms of, oh gosh, it's pretty fantastic in terms of resources that you can use for the business. Like if you can be here, you can do social media posting, you can create content. They have lots of templates. They have AI integrations. You can create posts. I'm pretty sure Dan is very familiar. Danny's very familiar with this. This is it's a game changer. And it's a lot easier and simpler than using like you know, uh, Adobe, or, I think most people just need the basics, and they're constantly evolving their platform. Another tool that you can use Zapier is really about connecting all the pieces together. I don't think everybody needs Zapier right away. They do have a free version of Zapier that you guys can check out. I love that, Canva is one of your favorite. Actually, there's a new feature on Canva. I think you'll get a kick out of this. I don't know if you got the notification. It's a new thing where it's free for the first million people that check into it. Hold on one second. I'm gonna give you this little nugget. So the new feature is it's a secret unlock feature. So if you click for you 7 times, it opens up access to their new glow up feature. And it's only free for the first million users. So that's a little cute hack that you can use. Oh, I'm sorry. It was Catherine. Thank you. I didn't even see that. I love that you guys know these tools and are using these tools. I'm going to put in here Zapier as well. You can easily use a YouTube channel to look these up. I always say, listen, watch a few videos, nothing crazy, 1 or 2 videos online and take action. That's the biggest thing. Most people, you can go down the rabbit hole. It's not to overwhelm you, but I do have a slide deck that I'm going to be sharing after this with anybody who's opted into my magazine. But yes, just different ways that you can level up, not only ironically presentation, but also just from an information standpoint. And I also have a tool that like I said, there's a tool that can automate your social media postings for you, including custom hashtags. I'm offering a really great promotion for every single person that wants to sign up for that. So it's like $5 for the first month. I'll give you a secret code or whatever the case is, and I will offer that over to you. I use it for myself, for my Instagram, my Facebook. It's actually helped me with a lot of engagement. I don't post that much, but having something going out is important. And I think the last piece, in terms of tools that you can use, I really just want to kind of go over, and then I'll be kind of leave the floor open to questions. Maybe you can even do someone's social media audit, but basically why you need to do it. And this is why you should do it. You'll fall behind. There's no other way around, right? I'm not trying to put pressure on you, but your biggest enemy is yourself and your mind, wanting you to keep you stuck, wanting you to keep you exactly where you are by being comfortable, right? Even if you're uncomfortable being comfortable, your mind is going to keep you in your own state. So even doing this for myself produced a lot of cortisol, it produced a lot of, anxiety for me to be able to present myself, but I did it and here I am. You're going to fall behind. You need to compete in the marketplace. The barrier to entry is getting larger, right? So by 2027, definitely 2028, pretty much everybody in the world will be on social. Imagine how much harder it is to grow your brand, to get in front of people that need to see your brand that you can help if everybody's on it. From Peru, from other countries in Africa, from Ghana, people from different cities. And there are newer and newer platforms, and people are being able to get on platforms faster and faster and grow faster and faster. And so really, you don't need to grow fast. You just need to be consistent online and have that tried and true presence of longevity. And I think you'll be fine. But it's just becoming one of those guaranteed strategies at minimum nowadays. Also, without branding yourself, you're not able to get to enough people. After COVID or during COVID, we got very comfortable sitting in our houses, ordering food, ordering groceries, ordering furniture, ordering products from the desk. Most people don't leave their homes anymore. It's not like it was before where you can go to a mall. There's less and less people out there, and your target demographic is out there in the world, but they're actually seeing you on this. They're seeing you on their phones. And it's not about you. It's really about you need to be where they are, where the people are. And that's what social media is, the eyeballs. It's not about, the person that you don't like or you're not too keen on always being online who annoys you. Don't make it emotional about what you don't like about that person or what you don't like about that one influencer who's dancing. You don't have to dance to kind of create your brand or your brand is who you are. Your brand is becoming more of an alignment of like your authenticity. So if you position yourself that, this is who I am, I'm going to do this and I'm going to be consistent, you shall grow. and you'll be ahead of 90% of the people that are doing this. And you don't need 1 million people. You may not even need 1,000 people. You just need to be consistent and intentional, and you should be successful. Um, I think do it, take action. And my biggest things before I wrap up here is build your database. Why? You're going to enhance visibility, build trust, foster direct communication, right? So now you have a direct line of reaching out to people. Create an effective social media brand helps you, create more engagement, personalization, and you get to allow and have proper decision making for your business, right? So that you actually have the proper lens. You're not in your ego saying, well, people use my product for this, when possibly the goal is actually how they're using it, and they can help you pivot the business in a right way to scale. And then of course, integrating your database with social media is going to help you really um, create powerful synergy, because everybody's online. You need to be there. And also it's able to bring your brand to the forefront. So that's pretty much it. Any kind of questions, comments, concerns? I know I kind of went off there, but I hope that it is, you know, without going over. I know we had pretty much like an hour and a half here, but any other kind of questions? I think I actually went over. No. Go ahead. Any questions?
I would like to reach out to you for more questions if that's possible. And do you have some type of contact or email, or because I have some more questions, but it pertains personally to my business, like things like how do I'm not sure if you charge for that type of service or whatever it may be. But I would like to know, like, how would I collect this data, and it pertains personally to something that I'm doing, but how would I collect this data in a way that, because I have ideas of how I could collect the data. I know I need a name, number, email, and some type of bridge or event, and something to offer, like you were saying, and there's
I
ways to
just sent
collect.
you over a message
Hmm.
for the link for my digital magazine.
Okay.
You click on that.
Okay.
There's going to be a form that you'll fill out with the message for today, because it's a lot.
Okay.
I kind of gave a lot, and then I have my slide deck. I'm going to send out the slide deck that I created that wasn't finished to every single person on this call, so that you have that. And I have another bonus resource as well, which is going to be how to share an events download. So basically, with this download, it's basically sharing with you how to create like an event like this, like a virtual event, and have success.
Yes.
So with that as well, like the same way that I just shared that link with you directly, and you click on it, and then you're able to fill out that form. It's the same thing. Do you think that you could do that, for yourself in some way?
Yeah, I know I can do that. I was thinking about execution, most likely,
It's as
mostly.
simple as that. That is
Okay.
the execution. Sometimes we just kind of make it overly complicated. I'm saying stick to one thing. You want to get them from A to B, and that's it. And that's it. And then once they're at B, you can decide and create the next legs for the business or where you want. What are you looking to drive?
Um, for this particular project, I'm trying to bring people. Well, of course, I need the whole concept is just to bring people in, no matter the
You want to
outlet.
what?
Bring people in to, uh, I guess, a blog or a what is it? Maybe not a blog, but a
Like a newsletter?
like a newsletter, or I was thinking about something that shows what I'm doing, but without giving them all of the nuggets of what I'm doing, in a way that tells, like, maybe I was thinking about a podcast or something, tells people exactly what I'm doing, shows them my roadmap, uh, without giving them every nugget, everything that it
And what
is
do
that
you
I'm.
do?
Hmm?
What do you do?
Well, outside of insurance, I I'm trying to build a brand for my company. My company is Sky Pie, and what it does is I'm focusing on data to I mean it's not going to start out as big, so I'm focused on little areas around the data, things that I can connect my center, you know, objective on. So one of the things I'm doing is I'm making games, I'm making anything that you can get data from, because I want to build a
So it
data.
sounds like, sorry to cut you off, but it sounds like, you're more in the concept stage of what you want to do. And I deal with a lot of, serial entrepreneurs that have multiple businesses that, can really see their business in, for the long haul of all the different ways that they can kind of work on it. I
Mhm.
want to encourage you to pick one thing, just one thing that you can do, one thing, whatever it is, and actually drive in your audience from there to one place. Because if you can do it once, you can just duplicate it and keep doing it. So
Mhm.
the biggest thing, and it sucks because I know we romanticize and we love entrepreneurs love romanticizing the struggle and the journey, what we can do. But everything that you want to do, the time horizon for that is more so, sounds like it's about a 3-year time horizon, right? Or it could take 3 years, right? I think it can go faster with other tools and services, but think about it like this. Use the one thing that's a business today that can create money for you today, that can create revenue for you today. Leverage that and then use the cash flow from that to build and expand. And now when you have a launch, you have an audience, you have a base, you have a database, you have connections that you can start to expand upon and say, okay, well, I know I have this new app coming out. I know that I have this new product coming out. So now that I have 1,000 people, 2,000, 5,000 people that are income producing people that are that follow me. Now I can start to pepper their minds with what's coming up next, and you can grow that. And so I don't want you to feel overwhelmed like you have to do all the little pieces. Just pick the one thing. I have some tools. I hope you filled out the form and that I sent you individually. And guys, it's already in the chat as well. I even dropped in. It's called the Unique Guide to Creating and Establishing Impact. I created this from an event, right? So starting to put yourself out there is a great way, just like how today we have content. I'm a little too close to the camera, I get it. But at the same time, I'm going to chop this content and it's going to be a great pivot point. I have a speech that I kind of, typed out and everything and data points and a slide deck. But, regardless, you show up, you produce, and then you can always pivot and it just makes you stronger. You learn the lessons from the things that you do. And so just if I'm sharing my screen here with what this is, and I have the download in the email.
Mhm.
I mean in the chat already, but it's build establish it the unique guide to establishing impact and and key relationships. So this was something I created a little while ago. It's a PDF. I did it on Canva. We all love Canva, but different ways, right? Hosting an interactive event, right? Identify the purpose. So again, I can tell immediately that if you can't really define it in 3 sentences or less, you don't have a business. And I know the business that you want to be in isn't what you do. What you do is the insurance piece, but I'm saying don't romanticize the other stuff. Keep it a buck, keep it
Simple.
business. And so, getting the word out, that's another tying into the social media piece. These are all the pieces that are bricks that are stacking onto your foundational, blueprint, if you will. Enlisting volunteers, recruiting people, right? Preparing for an event. This is for like more of a live event. These are all different things that you can do, and ways that you can produce and create an event for yourself to showcase that. So for you, it could be a mastermind for any of your new pieces, but I always just say use what you know works. Use what you know is going to be valuable today, and then you can leverage that for anything future. Now, Dan, I think you have a message here. So Dan helps coaches and speakers build communities like this one so they can have call like this so they can have a call like this every
So
single
yeah,
week, talking about their programs
uh,
and selling them. And
uh,
that's exactly what we're doing. Great. Anybody else want to tell me what they do
uh,
for business?
yeah. Yeah, I was responding to Jessica's questions, who said what they do. So everybody can share what they do. Was it hello?
Did we lose her?
Krista, you're on mute if you're talking. Maybe she pressed mute
Oh,
by.
I thought somebody, I was waiting for somebody to go and share what they do. So I'll tell you guys a little bit more about what I do. I know you kind of went around this round table a little bit earlier, but what I do is I've been in sales over a decade of my life. I've been a little bit of everything, right? I went to school for marketing. I worked for Twitter for a bit of time. I've pretty much honed all of my skill sets in different industries like logistics, in different industries, not only marketing. I have an art background. I have, I have a very high level of EQ. So, and I'm an avid learner of everything. And so because of that, whereas I once thought my experience as a waitress and customer service was kind of like a deterrent, I realized that really it was just what I needed, the infinity stones to my gauntlet for life. And now that I've been able to kind of like figure out what that is and use that superpower, I'm now able to kind of like convey that to other people. I'm big on the anti-niche. I don't think that today you need to be so niche down. I think that's how people used to do it, but with tools like AI, like AI tools like ChatGPT, AI integrations that you can have, like Copilot with like Microsoft. There's so many free, complimentary, paid tools to help you become a one-person business overall, or agency, if you will. That I don't think you have to do that anymore. I think it's time for people to start creating authenticity out there and showcasing, hey, listen, I'm just like you. I'm just as scared as you. And eventually I just hope to have a community of speakers and entrepreneurs so that I can leverage that audience piece. It could be a podcast, it could be books that I produce in the future, it could be just different kind of lead magnets or tools, but that's the dream ultimately. Well, the ultimate dream is to go back home. I'm from West Africa. My parents immigrated to this country in their 20s. So I very much register and resonate with the entrepreneurial spirit and connecting with people on a deeper level. And the grind, right? Because it's what we come to this country for, most of us, I should assume, are either immigrants, we're born from immigrants, or first, second, third generation. Um, Not knocking you if you've been here for a long time, but you know, it does, I mean, it's a melting pot here in this country, but I think overall, yeah, that's what I want to do, is just, grow and evolve and go to the next evolution of Christal. Anybody else want to share kind of like who they are or answer any last minute? I'm a pretty straight, no chaser kind of person. I had a very long, lengthy speech, stories, everything. But I just kind of kept it as is, which is why I'm gonna like release this after. Did everybody get a chance to download and take a look at the digital magazine that I sent you? That I dropped in the chat?
Yes.
Yeah, I did,
I
but I'm
saved
a
mine on
question.
the computer.
Hello?
Yes. Say it again.
Yes. I saved mine, but I'm not quite sure I have your direct connect. I'm sure somewhere in there I'm going to find your contact information because then I
I'm
just
gonna reach out
interested.
to you because I think I have something for you that'll be really solid. So and also you can follow me on LinkedIn as well. My LinkedIn is there as well. So I just kind of dropped this in the chat again.
Yeah.
I just hearted it. Because I'm humble like that. But
Yeah.
also, yes, you guys click on it, put in your
And
information. You will get this magazine every month. That's pretty much. I
Okay.
think that's pretty much it.
Right. Right. Yeah. No.
and,
So, what I don't.
and also,
I just want to thank you,
and also I was
Crystal.
gonna say,
Shout out to Lachey Ba. Shout out to
yeah,
Jessica D. I
yeah.
appreciate you all people for showing up.
And I was also gonna say, Crystal's part of the inspiration community, so she's in the group. So if you guys, yeah, need to reach out to her for any reason, or she's there. So ask your questions directly. So if you're in the inspiration community, Crystal's there, and she comes on some of the calls. So she's there. So she's not. If you need her, you'll find her.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So is that the end of your presentation, Crystal? Do you want to say one final thing?
Uh, I think well, I probably skipped a few pages to be honest, but hold on one second. I do have one final thing. I suppose I can kind of like share with you as long as I look at my, okay. My one final thing is honestly take action. Dan has known me a long time. He has been, I will say, relentless in encouraging me to take action in things. And a lot of these things are just kind of in my head. Nothing has changed. I think if you remain authentic, you'll find that the person that you were a very long time ago, that maybe you kind of lost your way, is the same person that you are now. It's just about taking courage and walking in that truth. So taking action, doing the thing, doing it scared, doing it, oh my gosh, doing it, I had to reach out to my shooters and be like, listen, I'm freaking out here. And, just get that cosign that you can do it. And so if anything, if I encourage you, I want you to at least do one post. That's it. Start, get it out of the way, get the jitters. Create, and thank you, Marjorie. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Lachey. I want to thank Dan, all of the Sherlock, everybody here. But my biggest takeaway is take action, reach out to me. You can send me an email. I would say use the link that I dropped in the chat, because that magazine, you're going to get that every single month in your email. On top of that, I'm going to send out some other resources. You can also catch me in the inspiration channel. But the biggest thing here is that it's chock full of business related information that you can get to help level up your business and get insight into different industries and resources. But that's pretty much it. You can also find me on Instagram, but I think LinkedIn is one of the best platforms to grow in that way. Thank you. And I'll be sending out to every single person the official slide deck for this presentation so that you can follow. If you,
Okay. Can I say one last thing, Crystal?
of course, Sherlock.
I think you're awesome.
Well, I think so too.
I tell you what, I think you're articulate and I think you are sensitive and you have done your homework and you're very I feel confident. I feel like I can lay my head in your world and feel secure that you can walk me through. Because as I said, I keep saying I'm 70 years of age. I am an older man and I'm old fashioned, but I want to make you've helped me to make that gap, connect the gap between a baby boomer and the social media world. I'm leaving this conversation today feeling emboldened and empowered, and I'm looking forward to getting to know you better. So the future is bright for you, and if you need a recommendation, I have it for you. Awesome.
Perfect. Let me reaching out.
Indeed.
All right. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sherlock. You made me giggle a little bit when you said lay your head in our world in our world. Anybody here, you guys want to lay your head on my bosom? I will call you and take care of you. I want to give actually a special thanks to Daniela, who this time I did not promote this event at all. Because Daniela is somebody on my staff that works for me, and in Colombia. And I said, okay, let me see what you can do. So she successfully got 30 people on the call. So, if we can get a round of applause for her, and I didn't help at all. And I was kind of nervous because this call started like 5 people. It was like me and Patty. I'm like, okay, nobody shut up. But that was really the test. I said, you try to get 25 people on the call, and I just now there's like 30 people on the call. So that's our first time. We got to encourage the youth, people that are younger, that are trying. It's very intimidating to just message people that you don't know and put this together. And she got the information from Christal and put the flyer together and send it out relentlessly. And I said, don't use my WhatsApp, use it only yours. And so I think that she did a good job. And so I want to continue encouraging people to grow. That's their step. Some of us it's easy for them, but everybody's in their own level. You see somebody, you're like, oh, you're not doing all this stuff. You don't know how far they came from. They could have been super shy. They could have been, Someone could go, and now they actually have it. That's a big step for them. Someone could have been in rehab and now they're able to function with people. So you never know. Just
Right.
encourage people, support them as much as you can. Before I let you guys go, I want to just a quick talk about the inspiration community, which Christal is a part of. And this is really like a vision that I have of having a community where people can chase their dreams and their own personal transformation. And we're in a community of people like that. As an entrepreneur, I know how hard it is when your family doesn't support you. Your spouse is like, they support you, but they don't really believe in it so much. And it could be, kind of a draining. And so my vision is to really create a space for people to have to be able to go for their dreams, to be able to express themselves, do these type of presentations, and that's my vision for the inspiration community. If you're not in it as already, you can drop your number to me directly, either message me, whatever. It's on WhatsApp, that community, and grow with us. We have programs. We have calls 5 times a week. Like we have calls like those. So you don't expect you to be on all of them, but anytime you're feeling down, you want to hop on a call, just jump. Did I freeze up?
Mm-mm. Mm-hmm. Now you did.
Can somebody hear me? Hello? Oh, okay.
We can hear
Okay,
you.
good. I don't know if I froze up or not. Or if you guys missed what I was saying. Okay, cool. So yeah, so like I said, we have 5 calls like these a week of different people speaking and teaching and explaining, and you have an opportunity to as well practice on your presentation skills and grow your stuff. Also what I do is help other coaches create their own communities. My big global vision is to have all over the world communities like this, and we all network together. So when you have a program, it's not just in your community. We can just spread it out in all the other communities over thousands of people, and have this really big network of transformational people that are helping people chase their dreams, helping people improve themselves in different walks. There's so many, the world of the mind is so big, and there's so many different, and we just want to have that big old world. So, does anybody have any questions on what I said when it comes to the vision with the inspiration community? If you do, no problem. But if you don't, just send me a message. Um, you need your structure to chase your dream, which is kind of what Krista was providing, what kind of how to chase your dream. And so Krista kind of helped us with that. But on top of that, you need the mindset, which is, the gasoline in the car is what I call it. And we have those calls on Mondays. We have them on Fridays, where it's really about mindset and success and how to go for it and different ideas. We're talking about general mindset, but you really need that. And then on top of that, once you have the car, you have the gasoline, you still need a good driver to drive it. That's you. Okay, so you need your own transformation, because if you're not transformed in your mind and you're getting upset about everything and you're not, things are stopping you, it's also not going to be a great experience, not going to get there. And so on Sunday we have our transformational calls, where we talk about things that are more transformational than informational. But you need all of them. You need all of them really. And I'm gonna encourage you guys, join the community, and so we can keep growing together and, and make the world a better place.
Yeah.
We have to create the world we want to see.
All right. Well, if there's no questions, I guess we'll end the call. Thank you, everybody who came on the call. And it's going to be a great call. It always is. And so your health is your number one thing. You can have 100 dreams in the world. If you
Thank
don't have
you.
health, you have one dream. It's to get healthy. So I'll
Mm-hmm.
see you guys maybe in a couple hours if you can come on um,
4
to the
o'clock.
health call. Send me a message. Yes, 4 o'clock. I'll see you guys soon. I love you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone. Connecting audio. The call actually just ended. Susan jumping on. If you're still here, bye, guys. The call has ended. The call has ended. Susan, if you're just coming on, we just ended the call. Bye, Sarah. Adios.